Jimbo Fisher here at SEC Media Days. Why was last year, in the minds of every Aggie, just a hiccup?
Well, I don't know. We just didn't find the inches. We had some injuries. We had some young players, but that's no excuse. We had good players. We had to do a better job coaching them, putting them in the right position, and we came up and there's 5 games we were 1 play short. We didn't find the inches in critical moments, and we have to do a better job of getting our players to do it. But I believe we will, and I like our team going forward.
And look, injuries are injuries. You don't want to lean on those, but they go in cycles.
They do.
You would hope that everybody's better this year.
Well, we hope we are. And the other thing about it, though, we have more experience. Our 2 deep now, you got all those young guys that played, and you bring the other guys back. So now if you do have those, you're in a better position, not from just a talent standpoint, but from an experience standpoint. That those guys are talented, experienced, have been in those situations, and we know how to coach them in those situations even better. I think it can help us, and that's what we need to do.
In terms of that, I don't know, best recruiting class ever a couple cycles ago, where are they in getting in the depth chart right now?
They're right in the middle of it. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them are starting, or a lot of them are turning, and they're all going to play. I mean, there weren't any guys in there we didn't want, and they're doing a great job of fitting in and being ready to play and have developed very well. And
Connor Wegman, you have maybe your best quarterback you've had. It's not up to you to say probably at this point, but how has he developed?
Really well. I mean, I liked at the end of the year he did. I think Max, again, unfortunately was playing well and he broke his thumb. And that would be a good battle going into spring. But I think Connor made a lot of progress. I mean, he had 8 touchdowns, no picks. He played in some big games and won a big game against a really good team and made significant plays at the end of the year, which really helped with his feet and with his arms. So, I think he has a great upside.
I talked to a couple of your players about this just because I was at the Alabama game. Obviously, you lose by this much at the end. But what did you take from that? Because that was a loss, but it showed you what you could be.
Well, I think from a standpoint of playing the game, from the physical standpoints of the fronts and the things, they had their battles, but we did too. I mean, I think you're getting a lot more even footing and it gave guys confidence. Now we have to learn again. I've been in this league. I remember when LSU one year we were 11-1 or 11-2. Not the year we won the national championship. I think we finished 3rd. And we won 4 games in 2 minutes. And this year we hit last 5. I mean, from going from 11 to 5 or 5 to 11 it's inches. It's 2 or 3 plays a game, but it's always like that in this league because everybody has good players, and you got to find a way to make those critical plays at the critical moments. And I think that's hopefully what we can learn to do and get there.
I've always thought, is that a sign that a team is right there, or is it a sign that they just don't get over the edge?
Can be either one. Yeah. I mean, you've been there and not. It just depends on which choice they make.
All right, the Bobby Petrino question. How has Bobby Petrino fit in? How long have you known him? What are you going to get out?
Known him for a long time, back from he was at Cincinnati. I was at Cincinnati. He was at Louisville. We were OCs. I mean, he was there. We coached against each other. What he did, what we'd done in the league together all those years in the ACC, and had great respect for each other. Had good friendship. Respected what he did offensively. He respected what we did. We used to talk ball and watch each other's film, do different things, and it's a great fit. I mean, me and Bobby get along great. He's done a great job with our players, done a great job with our staff. He's coaching very well, and he's recruiting very well. I mean, he's been a great fit. He brings a lot of different ideas, and it's been really good.
Is he going to have autonomy on the sidelines?
Yeah, we will. We're going to call plays, and but as a staff, we're still going to collectively put together what we do, and you trust the guy to what you hire him to do.
Yeah. What was it like making that call when he was at Missouri State? I don't know what the situation was there.
No, it was very good. Yeah. I mean, it was a guy I've thought about this as I've seen the way this game is going. I even thought about it back at Florida State and did it for a couple games. Randy called plays at times and did things there. And what we did, but did a great job. But it was an easy call to call Bobby because I knew him, and someone was very interested, and he was excited about the situation and just had to get it worked out.
You were asked about the offense. You don't want to give away the farm, but is the offense going to change subtly? How does it become more productive?
It depends on what your players. An offense features what your players can do. You know what I'm saying? And we got some really young receivers that are coming on. We got some young backs that are good. The line, some tight ends can catch the ball and do things. So, I mean, we'll mold it around what our players can do. I mean, whether it's a vertical passing game, a horizontal passing game, screen. I mean, we'll do everything. We'll be multidimensional, but we got to get the ball to the playmakers, and that's the key, whether it's down the field or short.
How big then is the return of Ainias? You've got a very deep receivers room.
We do. Some weapons. Some young guys, and versatility position-wise. See, even some of those young guys, like Noah Thomas was our MVP of spring, was phenomenal. Evan Stewart's a guy now, hopefully you can move around. Moose Muhammad came on through can move around, made unbelievable catches. And then you got some young guys and a nice ability to go in the backfield and do things. So I think the versatility it gives us, and our backs all can catch the ball, the guys coming up. I didn't play a lot, but they're very talented and can do it. So I think there's a lot of personnel groups and formations that we can use and get guys the ball that I'm very excited about.
Year 6 for Jimbo Fisher, where are you at in the process at A&M?
Well, I mean, I think we obviously had to step back last year. I think 2 years. I think in 2020, I thought we should have been in the playoffs. We're the only one-loss team in SEC history never to go. I mean, so we're right there. But I think we have a talent-laden roster. We got a great staff. I think we got a chip on our shoulder to go do the things we got to do, and I think we can make the corrections and have a great year. I think we're right there. And now we have to go do it. Again, like I said, your action speaks loud. I can't hear what you're saying. We have to take it to the field. But at the same time, I'm excited. I know we have the staff and the players to be able to do it.
All right, you're in one of the, I guess, most liberal NIL states with the law that was just signed in. How are you embracing that? How are you diving into it?
Well, nothing really changed for us because we can't entice. We can't give numbers.
Right.
Can't do anything else. And I think that the rule they changed, the best thing was they allowed us to be able to help them or at least look at a contract. Before, a kid, we couldn't even look at a contract where a kid could maybe be given 40% of his rights away for a lifetime. We couldn't even, because we hired a guy from Ohio State, which Ohio State already had the law that they could help. So we're not doing anything anybody else ain't ever done. I think that's the biggest change in the law, it sounds like to me, because other than that, it really didn't change.
What's your thought on the schedule? This is the last year of divisions. You don't have to play that West schedule year in, year out. It's going to be tough no matter what, but what's your feeling on that going forward?
I think it's good for the players to get to all the schools within the conference. I mean, if you're in a conference, you at least wanted to, if you stay 4 years, I mean, you may go in 3, and it may not go that way, but you should be able to go play everybody in your conference. And I think that's one of the things super conferences have to weigh when you did it, but they're here to stay, and I think that's one of the good things about it. I mean, I like playing them. It didn't bother me playing them. I like those games. They're big games. But at the same time, I do think it's great for the players to get diversity and see the other schools and be able to go play in that. Say you played in that stadium or they come to your stadium, you got to play against them. I think it's good for our league, good for college football.
Yeah, over what, a 4-year span, everybody sees each other
exactly
twice.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
so you get a home and away with them at least. And if it falls out that you're a 3 and out and you go somewhere, but you at least would have had that opportunity to play somewhere. At least you played against that team, though.
That's good. Ainias Smith, running back, and a lot of other things at Texas A&M joining us. Yes, welcome back. Wanted to do a little bit of dive into the injury. You just have to feel great about being able to practice right now. Yes. How frustrating was that?
Man, it was very tough just being on the sideline, being in the locker room, not really able to get out the message or the word that I wanted to the guys, you know what I'm saying? It felt weird because I wasn't out there going through the hurt with them, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Those practices, everything that you go through as a football player, once you get hurt, you're not going through those same things. So, I mean, it was tough just being on the sideline, being a standby watch person. It definitely wasn't fun, but at the end of the day, I'm very thankful for the experience. It has taught me a lot, and now I'm here. So.
And personal experience, rehab sucks, right?
Man, crazy. Yes, it is. But it's gotten me a whole lot better. So, like I said, I'm thankful.
It's one thing watching it. It's one thing watching it go 5 and 7.
Man.
Did you ever offer yourself in the locker room to boost guys up, whether in the middle, side to side, personally? Did it ever come to that?
It had to. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm not one of those guys that like to give up. And it was tough going through the season, watching, just being on the sideline, not being able to contribute. But at times, I felt like I had to say something. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't in me to just sit back and watch and just let our guys do the things that they were doing, or, you know, just not be a leader and just be helpful. I just wanted to be like a helpful person in that aspect and not so much a football player, you know what I'm saying? I really wanted to be a human being and help some of those guys get through some of the things that they were going through. Really just be a person. You know
what was your message? Was there any profound moment with a player or two?
I mean, I definitely had a few players, you know, that I was trying to get at. I'm not going to speak on them, but I'll definitely say this. Bama game, when that was my first game being back able to travel since my surgery. And I flew up there. It was crazy. I had crutches and scooters everywhere trying to get around to the meeting rooms and all types of places. But at the end of the day, we got to the game, and I was just telling them, like, yo, we got to fight. Like, it don't matter what we do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter what they say, it don't matter how we feel. We got to go out there and shoot. They put on the show, you know what I'm saying? They fought their hearts out. I was very proud of those guys at that moment. I wish I was out there, you know what I'm saying, so we can finish the game. But just that whole season, I felt like it was interesting. Let's just say that.
This close, as I recall, at the end. I was
Man,
there.
crazy.
Was it, in some ways, was that, I don't know, a high point in the season where this is what we could be, this is what we should be?
Right. At that point, you know, we definitely did take it that way. We definitely looked at ourselves like, okay, we can be something. Like, let's go ahead and try to use this as motivation, use it as fuel. And unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. It's all good. It happened, but you know, we got to live through it, and just move forward.
All right, another year. Let's talk about your role in the offense. You're a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, as I mentioned. Under Coach Petrino, the new offensive coordinator, what do you see your role as?
Man, to be honest, I just see myself as somebody that can make a play. You know what I'm saying? When my number is called, go ahead and get the ball in my hands. I'm gonna put on the show. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's in the backfield, in the out wide, whether that's back there catching punts, kickoffs, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be as helpful as I can, especially with me coming back from my 5th year. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of guys that have came up, let's just say, and you know, they're definitely willing and wanting to get their shine and whatnot. But my whole thing is just let's go ahead and go harder. You know what I'm saying? My job is to push everybody to the limit that they thought that they may not have had if I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So really just digging deep into people's souls, almost paused, but really just finding out what it is inside of them that they can find to better themselves in the future.
What do you see from Coach Petrino? How does the offense change, or does it change? So much is made there about who's going to call the plays. Well, he's the offensive coordinator. I'm assuming he's going to call the plays. But you hear stuff. Mm-hmm. What's it going to be like?
It's going to be exciting. Let's just say that. It's definitely going to be exciting. As you know, Coach Petrino has had great numbers in the past, you know what I'm saying? And his resume is out of this world. So just with his experience, Coach Fisher's experience, their knowledge, and they're poised. Let's just say that. They are very poised people when it comes to wanting to win a game. I know Coach Petrino is going to do everything he needs to. I know Coach Fisher is going to do everything that he needs to. And honestly, I feel like the numbers are clicking. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen.
Just talk about Connor Wegman's 2nd year, now the starter. Great receiver room, obviously you. What are the possibilities for this offense?
Man, possibilities are endless. Let's just say we can mix up our schemes in a lot of different ways. You know, not speaking too much on it, but we can go put me in the backfield, put me out wide, go empty. You know what I'm saying? We can do a lot of things because of the versatility that we have in our room. Not only our room, the running back room, the QB room. The offensive line is coming back with a lot of experience, so things are definitely looking great for us.
I think you kind of answered this already, but why'd you return?
Man, just being around the guys, you know what I'm saying? That locker room is a feeling that you're not able to take away. Coach always says there's a new team each and every year, and I felt like last year there was a lot of unfinished business, you know what I'm saying, with that team that we had, and I just wanted to come back, finish the season off right with those guys, and also just come back and give back, you know what I'm saying, do what a vet would do in a way.
You told an interesting story speaking about Coach Petrino. Your brother Maurice, who's now in the XFL, was recruited by Bobby Petrino when he was at Arkansas. This had to be, what, 11, 12 years ago?
Yeah, something
What do you
like
remember
that.
about that?
Man, I remember my brother getting recruited heavily by a lot of coaches, you know what I'm saying. A lot of universities were definitely trying to come out and get him. He was a top cornerback, so he was getting all the looks from all types of places, you know what I'm saying, Alabama, Oregon, Georgia, everywhere. Every school that I had wanted to go to, he had an offer from. And it was just surreal watching him go through that process, you know what I'm saying. But then while I was going through my process, I was hoping to get in the same thing, you know what I'm saying. But things worked out the way they worked out. And I ended up at A&M. He ended up going to Alabama and whatnot. His whole process was a lot different than mine, but his, I believe, was a little bit more interesting. I remember Coach Petrino. I don't know if he had came up to our house or if I had seen him at our school or something, but I believe I was working out or something. I remember seeing his face and whatnot, and he had came and spoke to us one time. But other than that, that was probably the last time I remember Coach Petrino, and then seeing him in the neck brace, of course. But other than that, I only remember great things about Coach, for sure.
A big deal then, a big deal now.
Yes.
Yeah. Ainias Smith, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
McKinnley Jackson, defensive line, behind those shades, on the front of those shades too, is a great, great player.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to SEC Media Days. What went into your decision to come back? Because that was big news when you decided to come back.
Honestly, I felt I left a lot on the table, and I owe it to my teammates and to myself. 6 games, I played a tremendous games, but I feel like it wasn't enough from a standpoint of I wasn't out there to provide for my brothers when I feel like they needed me the most. So I kind of want to come back and give it to those guys. It wasn't more so about myself.
Am I wrong? That defensive line is tremendously more deep than it was last year, given the injuries.
Deeper and more talented than ever. I get thrilled about understanding, seeing the talent we have and what can we do to our offensive line. But as long as it executes at a high level.
What's the next step for you? You got to stay on the field.
Yes,
the last 2 seasons. What's the next step for you?
I understand being consistent at what I do, being a better leader, a better person. And I'm not more so worried about myself. I'm worried about the next man, the man beside me, because I feel like I play my best when they play their best.
What went wrong last year?
Just like we let one thing be another. And if you look back at the season, we would have been 10-2 for one position. So just fighting for the inches is what Coach Fisher would say.
A lot of close losses.
Yeah, a lot of close ones.
All right, you're on the other side of the ball. What have you seen from the offense? Because it's going to be something that we know that the coordinators knew. What have you seen from Connor and the boys?
It's been an offense that's been more efficient than ever, quicker, faster, at a high-level pace. And I'm kind of scared for defense other than mine to go against them. But the great thing is I get to go against it every day, and I feel like it's preparing me more than anything.
Where are those guys that were 2 cycles ago part of the best, recruiting class ever? Where are they in your position group in terms of depth-wise?
Guys are still understanding their role, and some guys have missed out on playing time due to injury. So with that being said, it's a fuel and burning inside them to get on the field. But I kind of tell them it's more than just just get on the field and understand like what to do and how to go about your business. And you didn't play last year because of injury, so don't let one thing be another. Kind of learn from those moments, and let them burn you inside and to make you a better player, commemorate for the expectations you want.
I'm sure you've noticed this in the position. A guy like you can make 2 tackles a game, but if you can occupy 2 blockers most of the game or some of the game, that's a win. And people don't see that all the time. You understand that,
yes,
don't
sir.
you?
Yeah, it's a selfish act for sure. But I kind of tell my linebackers, hey, I'm gonna make the play. Y'all better get to it before I can. But of course, it's something about that I love putting my hands on, and freeing up the next man. Like I said, I'm a selfish player. I want to see everyone shine. If they can make the play, so be it. But hey, you better get to them before I can.
How bad does Aggie Nation want to be back in the conversation? How bad do you want to be back in the conversation?
Bad, all the things that come with it, from the beautiful occasions, playing in the beautiful stadiums, to playing great teams, And I would rather be here because, here you're more noticeable, and people try to knock you off as much as possible. So, why not get back up there?